So last time we talked about this final conf list file contains the plugin type of Lilo. So when Kubernetes startup, it will read any conf list file in this directory to prop and load the CNI plugin. And then when Kubernetes start up the pod, it will set up the pod interface and IP address for the pod, say Nginx. So I want to talk more about the kubelet, how kubelet prop the CNI plugin briefly in the code. So here is another diagram with the code for CNI plugin probbing. So when kubelet start up, you will notice a log entry like this. Like when you specify the kubelet use network plugin CNI, you will see some log entry like this. And then plugins.go code to logs loaded network plugin CNI. So you will see those entries, which is when the kubelet start up and load the CNI plugin. So again, this file is on the load etc/etc CNI let.d. This file is created on each load. When the kubelet start up, in the plugins code, it will call this prop network plugins, and this function is here. As you can see, it will take the CNI configuration directory and the bin directory, which is default is that's the configuration directory, and the CNI binary directory. So it will append, actually call the CNI prop network plugins here, and then append it to the all plugins. So let's go to the CNI prop logins, which is here in this CNI.go file with prop network plugins. So this is the function here, CNI prop network plugins. As you can see, the default directory, configuration directory, and the default binary directory for CNI plugin. So it will, in this prop network plugins, it will call the sync network config function, and yeah. So let's go to the sync network config. It's in the same file, sync network config. This function, what it does is basically get the default CNI network plugin, and then set that plugin as default network for the pod. So so let's look at the get default CNI network function, which is here. The set default network function, which is here, the actual function. So, and the get default CNI network, and here you can see that is when kubelet actually find this conf list file or any .conf file in the slash etc slash net CNI slash net.d directory. So it found this file, by the way, which is this file, right? So it's parse this file and read the file, and then parse it out, and then put into this structure, saying a little work. Yeah. So this is the CNI library, and there's more detail on how to actually pass this file, which we don't go into, and yeah. So that's when kubelet startup, and prop the CNI plugin, and set that CNI plugin as default network for the pod. When kubelet actually setting up the pod interface and the IP address network for the pod, it is actually you will see some when a pod is scheduled to start up by kubelet, you will see some logs like this in the kubelet log plugins, calling network plugin CNI to set up pod for this Nginx pod, and again about to add a CNI network blah this type final for Nginx pod, and so this log is actually logged by the plugin in the plugin code by this setup pod function in the plugin code, and as you can see here, that's the log to set up pod, and the plugin is the plugin name is the CNI, and the pod name is this Nginx pod. So here it calls the actual plugin setup pod function. So this plugin is a CNI, so it calls the CNI setup pod function. Let's look at the setup pod. So the setup pod is, as you can see here, first it's get the namespace ID for the pod, and then as you can see here, it's actually first set up a loop localhost or loop host IP and interface for the pod. And here is where it is set up the use the default network, which is the CNI plugin, and add it to network. Add it to the network. So the added to the network is here, which is the added to network function is here, and it's here you can see the log about to add CNI network for the pod, which is again this log about to set up, about to add CNI network, about to add CNI network, and then Yeah, so use that's the actual plugin CNI plugin name, which is Fnino, and here it call the add network list. So let's see, add network list is this function, and then it find the plugins, the binary, and here invokes the plugin with add, which is the CNI specification add command to add an interface for the pod. So yeah, and so this is actually goes to the actual CNI Fnino plugin code, and we can look more detail about how of CNI Fnino plugin code to add the interface for the pod, and actually it was delegated to the bridge plugin, and to actually add the virtual isolated pair for the pod, and set up IP address using IPAN plugin. Yeah, so we can go later into those.